difficulties. There's a storm. There's a big storm outside. I don't know. I'm gonna blame the wind. Who knows what it is, but we're on the air. Buddy's in Panama City, and he's gonna come in on the phone. And Shane Matthews been patient in the green room. Hey, just if you're coming onto the show for the first time, you're not a subscriber to our YouTube channel, make sure you click on the bottom right-hand corner and subscribe to the show. If you're watching on Facebook, welcome. Make sure you subscribe, follow. You know the deal, guys. It's pretty simple. We got Shane Matthews. We've got Nick De La Torre's coming in tonight. Buddy Martin's on the telephone. And then, of course, the one Mr. Iron Duke, Francis Beard. Got lots to talk about, lots of things to review. And I think that's going to cover the whole thing. So away we go.
Time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking. But be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye.
You ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Well, welcome to the broadcast. Shane Matthews, how are you, sir?
Doing well.
Well, let's see if we can hear you again there, Shane. Sorry, we've had all sorts of fun technical difficulties. Shane, are you there now? Yeah, I got you. Huh, thanks, buddy. Golly. Man, being Buddy Martin's producer is
tough,
special.
yeah.
It's a tough deal. He's in the green.
Brandon, you need a raise.
I need a raise. He said he's in the green room. Let's see if he. Let's see. Let me see if I can get him to bring him in. And he's gonna. I mean, this is why I'm so good, Shane. Let's see, buddy. Are you there? You look.
Oh, I am here. I am here.
You're there with audio, and I'll take it at this point.
Oh, there I am.
Oh my gosh, it's a miracle.
Yeah.
I'm a genius.
Shane,
Wow.
they said I couldn't do it, Shane.
Brendan's like MacGyver.
All over the hill, couldn't do it. Here I am.
Well, welcome to the show, buddy. Thank you for joining us. It's only got your name on the front, so we're happy that you came into all the way from Panama City.
Yeah, 5-hour drive yesterday here, but I almost didn't make it on today. But you know what? I'm like Shane Matthews. I learned to play hurt a long time ago. He overcame all kind of obstacles and became a great player, and now he's a famous talk show host. Heard your show this morning with JC a little bit today, and I heard you say it was a fabulous Super Bowl. You loved it, right?
I did. I thought it was great. I know a lot of people complained about it, but look, those were two well-coached football teams, had good plans. First 2.5, 3 quarters, the defensive coordinators were dialing it up. Offenses were struggling, but man, I enjoyed the heck out of it.
High entertainment value, that's for sure. It was fun to watch. It really not one boring quarter. I mean, if you're the NFL, you scored big on that one. That was. Did you guys see the ratings? I didn't see the ratings. Are they out for what it was?
I did not.
I have not seen them.
Got to be pretty high because it was a pretty good show.
Yeah. By the way, it's interesting enough. Where did you watch it? I watched the Super Bowl pretty much usually 2 places: at the game or at home by myself with maybe one other person. And I don't like to go to parties. Last night at our building, our friend had a party, and I was obliged to go down for at least the first half. Not my thing to go to a party, Shane, and watch Super Bowl.
Well, buddy, if you have to go to a party, you got to find another TV where there ain't a whole lot of people, and you hunker down there
Yeah.
And you get criticized for not being the social guy, but who gives a damn, right?
Yeah.
Well, because then everyone wants to watch the commercials, and it becomes all
Yeah,
about.
I didn't see one commercial. I didn't watch halftime. I don't care about any of that.
Yeah. I tried to
Well,
watch.
I did see a couple of commercials. One I did really like a lot. I came home the second half and watched with my wife and watched and was able to hear. And Shane, you're right. When you can't hear, it's a bit of a distraction, but nonetheless, I will say there's one particular commercial I liked. I think Brenda did too. And I have to ask you, I know you hate this part, Shane, about the sideshow at the Super Bowl, all the other things that went on. But there was one incident, which was football related, that was a bit disturbing, and some people spoke out about it. Did you see Travis Kelce go push Andy Reid?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Coaches and players at that level yell and scream a lot of times at coaches. I think you see it more now with social media and more cameras. But that was a bad look for Travis Kelce. There's no question. Should have never bumped into Andy. Andy's an old guy. He just lost his composure, but not a good look.
What was the deal? Do anyone know what the context was?
I think he was frustrated because, quite honestly, the Chiefs struggled offensively for quite some time, and I don't think he had caught a ball. I don't know if a ball had been thrown his way at that point of the game. And he's a competitor and wanted to win the game, and sometimes you lose your composure out there, and unfortunately, the entire world saw it.
Well, and he didn't propose to Taylor Swift like everyone said he was going to do, which of course, I was not too concerned with the Taylor Swift Super Bowl part of it. A little bit of an overkill on it. I did like the one Dunkin' Donut commercial.
It was very good. I like that one too, Brandon. It was crazy. It was so horrible. It was. Really
I didn't see it till today. I didn't. I didn't watch
the context of it last night, but
yeah.
Did you see it, Shane? Did you hear about it?
I heard about it. Tom Brady was in it or something like that. I didn't. Yeah. I said, I didn't really see any of the commercials. I'll tell you this, buddy. I was hooked on 2 TVs on my buddy's back porch. I didn't even see the coin toss nor the national anthem because I was locked in on the waste management playoff.
Well, I don't know. You becoming anti-Super Bowl here or what?
No, but none of that matters. Once the game started, I had 2 TVs going because the playoff was still going on.
All right, well, here's what happened. Here's the deal on the commercial. For those who missed it, Brandon filled me in on this. Ben Affleck, apparently it's about him journey to the top to become a pop star. Okay? They had a group of guys dressed up in orange and like Dunkin' Donuts. They were called the Dun Kings. And Affleck and Matt Damon and Tom Brady all appeared before J-Lo. And by the way, and also Taylor Swift was there. And they're trying to audition for a part, and they don't get it. All right. Anyway, that was the deal. So it was
I didn't see Taylor Swift in the commercial, but
well, supposedly she was there.
Oh, I didn't see.
She was in the background at one point.
She's in the background and everything.
I thought something told me, but I read something where they said she was right behind J-Lo, but maybe someone else could help me there. Yeah, so
and I liked it, but I didn't think. For as far as the commercials go, I didn't think it was that smart or whatever. Again, I just was pretty hooked on the game because it wasn't. It was a back and forth. I thought it was going to be who said that they didn't understand the whole thing? They didn't understand the rules of playoff, sudden death, or overtime. There's a couple of San Francisco 49ers who were saying today. I didn't see the names. They said I didn't even know that was the rule. For score a touchdown and win the game. They thought they were just playing out playing out the quarters.
I don't know. Shane, I know there's been. What's that, buddy? What you got?
You'd be surprised how few players really know what's going on, things like that.
I'll be honest. I was one of them. I was one of them because I did not realize that if the Chiefs could have before they threw that touchdown to win the game, I didn't realize they was going to go through the second quarter. I thought they would
Yeah.
have like started the whole thing over
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
changed that rule. I mean, the players probably didn't know it. Hell, I didn't even know it. And I'm
Yeah, I
usually
think
pretty
that
good
had to
with
be
the rules.
refreshed on that part. But I knew the rule about scoring, and what you have to do to win, and so on and so forth.
No. So the playoffs and Super Bowl overtime rules are different than regular season.
Regular season.
Regular season,
Yeah.
if you score a touchdown on the first possession, game is over. In postseason play, the other team will get an opportunity. This is the Pat Mahomes rule from 2 or 3 years ago when he lost to Brady and never touched the football.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Burrow. I can't remember. But, yeah, so if the 49ers had scored a touchdown instead of kicking the field goal, which they had a wide-open touchdown to win to take the lead, but Chris Jones blew the play up, even if they score a touchdown there, they don't win the game. The Chiefs still have opportunity to go down and score, which is different than regular season play.
I know you had a stake in it. We got Nate Torre coming up here in a second. You had a stake in it because you really like Mahomes a lot. You've declared yourself, and you might be right. Trent could be right. You think he's about to be the GOAT. Mahomes.
Well, I said it a couple of years ago.
You've been consistent with it. I know. You've
Yeah,
been saying it
I
5 years.
I think he's the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. Even though he's only been a starter for 6 years, he's been to 4 Super Bowls. Would have been to all 6 if he doesn't lose in overtime. The other 2, he's won three Super Bowls. The guy just knows how to win, and he's got a unique skill set that nobody else has. They're not going anywhere. Andy Reid's a great play caller, and this is probably the worst Chiefs offense they've had since he's been there.
Well, I liked what he said at the end of the game when he said, "This is great. Great to have back to back." He says, "I'm not done. We're not done. We're just getting started." It's no questions. They're wanting to come back and take another run. I agree with you, Shane. I think he's one of the greatest, most exciting quarterbacks I've ever seen play, especially in postseason. It's almost like you just knew he was going to win. You just knew he was going to drive him down to win. And I love how he took him on, especially that third down. Was it third or fourth down when they had to make the first down? And he takes a little quarterback keeper around the edge and gets first down. I mean, when he started doing that in the second half, when they just couldn't seem to move the football, he really just put the entire team on his back there. I felt like just said, I'm going to, if we can't move it, I'm going to move it.
Yeah. I mean, they threw the ball a little bit more in the second half, which I thought they should have done in the first half. And he was a little antsy in the pocket because they got pressure with the 4-man front, and they were really, really good with their rush lanes. The 49ers were, but you give Mahomes enough chances, he's going to find a way to beat you.
Yeah, I think that guy's going to be head coach, defensive coordinator for the 49ers. I love they dominate with just 3 to 4 guys. And Mahomes is amazing because I'm surprised he hadn't gotten crushed by somebody. As hard as he runs and as reckless as he is. And that run he made, by the way, late in the fourth quarter, that was key. He won it with his legs, really, in that regard. So you got me. You're right, Shane. We got him. Hey, by the way, Shane, I know you made a comment over the weekend about the events of the Gators, what happened to their strength coach. I know the guy that broke the story is standing by. Want to talk to Ben. Do you have a commercial there to play on Melton Law Monday or not?
Did you just call me Ben?
What?
Did you just call me Ben because you named me?
Brendan, do you have a commercial to play?
I was like, well, it's your fault. My name is Brendan. Yeah, I think we can have a commercial to play. I don't know if it's the right
Melton
commercial.
Law bring in our other guests here.
Well, why don't we just bring him in and then we'll run to it afterwards because we'll bring him in. I don't think I have the right Meldon. I'll have to download it. So let's bring in Nick Torre. Nick, how are you, sir? Thanks for joining the program. Oh, we don't hear you, Nick. Is your mic on? There you go.
Muted myself.
There you go.
Doing well.
Oh, yeah.
I think Mahomes is probably the second best quarterback to some guy named Shane Matthews.
Yeah, no question.
That's good stuff there.
Just got butter up Shane before I get in here.
What was your favorite? Did you have a favorite commercial last night? Do you care, or you just you're all X's and O's there? Do you get into the entertainment value?
It was. I went to our friend's house. I was at a Super Bowl party with 3 kids under 3, so there wasn't a lot of during commercials. We're kind of chasing kids around, so I didn't watch too many of that. I loved the halftime show. It was right up my millennial alley. Ludacris, Lil Jon, Usher. I felt like I was back in high school driving to St. Thomas.
My daughter's like, "Who's that? Who's that?" I'm like, "That's Ludacris. It's Luda's. It's coming out. It's just driving." I'm like, "It's like Atlanta up there. I feel like I'm in Atlanta. It's got the whole cruise up there."
I loved it.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, no, Shane tuned on for the music. That's what he wanted to hear.
I didn't see any of it. I heard it in the background, and there's only one song that I recognized, and it was the or whatever it's called.
Yeah. That was
That's the only one that I'd ever heard of.
Yeah, he's good. The whole thing was good. And Usher on roller skates, he fell, but he got back up. I thought it did pretty good there. He was trying to go between the legs there. Didn't work out. He didn't fall. He recovered. I mean, he was. Look, the guy is bringing it for his age, up there. I mean, he was going full tilt. I don't know, it was about 8 minutes long, but roller skates, couple outfit changes, done a couple shoe changes. He was gliding everywhere. It was pretty good stuff. I thought it was a pretty good show. Not my favorite show, but it's probably a pretty good show.
I think David Arnold sort of sums up the age group I'm actually older.
Yeah.
Say the music is less important. Well, there you go. Was that the Emmy?
Hey, buddy, that was your shit right there.
Yeah.
No, it was one of your. It's one of your many. I don't know. Let's see what we got here.
Yes,
No.
probably.
It's good. It's your Denver Broncos frame, but didn't hurt your article on the drive.
There you go.
Let's show the world what it was. Fell off the wall, buddy. Bad sign.
That was the
There it
drive.
is. Drive to Destiny. This is
The
great.
drive.
This is a great game.
Anyway, yes, so I think the music is lesser and lesser important to old guys, but nonetheless, it's something for everybody. Well, Nick, you had a little story there this weekend. Congratulate you on that. On the face of it, when it broke, it seemed a lot worse maybe than it was. Why don't you explain what happened? I still have a lot of questions about that, about Florida losing its strength conditioning coach of 5 or 6 weeks, which is not a terribly good look, although as Shane points out, coaching is about relationship. His guy went to Boston College, and so you followed it. Let's hear it from you because you broke the story.
Yeah, I like there's no way to make that a good looking headline. But strength coaches are essentially head coaches for 7 months, 8 months out of the year. Due to NCAA rule, you kind of turn your team over to them. And I'll take this, a little comically far, but if Urban Meyer were to come back and coach New Mexico State, I think Mickey Marotti would leave Ohio State and go coach with Urban. That's the kind of relationships head coaches and strength coaches have. It's one of the reasons why I didn't think Billy Napier would make a move with Mark Hockey, and he did. And he did that for Craig Fitzgerald. Now, there was no way for me to massage the headline to make it any different than Florida strength coach leaves Florida for Boston College. But if you actually open the story, which I don't think most people did who reacted to it, you'd see that, hey, Bill O'Brien and Craig Fitzgerald worked together at Maryland. When Bill O'Brien became a head coach at Penn State, he grabbed Craig Fitzgerald and brought him to Penn State. When Bill O'Brien went to the NFL, he brought Craig Fitzgerald with him to the NFL. These guys have worked together for 9 years, and I don't think Bill O'Brien knew that he was going to be a head coach 2 weeks ago. So Craig Fitzgerald didn't think he was going to be going anywhere else. So it's really unfortunate timing for Florida. But if you understand the relationship with head coaches and what strength coaches do in their role, I think it makes perfect sense that Bill O'Brien would want to get his strength coach back when he gets another opportunity to be a head coach. Unfortunately for Florida, you're starting the identity phase, which Billy Napier calls the most physically and mentally taxing part of your off-season program, and you're starting that now without a guy who is, or at least without your intended strength coach.
And you say, I have a lot of questions about that, as do other people, but I'm going to lay out, let others talk. I think it's You're right. Yeah, they are the head coach 7 months of the year. Marotti was really big into that. And now the head coach supposedly can't see him the all season. You have to have your right arm there. And the relationships, as Shane points out, coaching is relationships. And when you go there, you almost see it's like your assistant head coach really is your strength coach. I just was surprised at the timing. I thought when you had a contract, you had a contract. I'm not sure how that works. Maybe he said, just I'll let you go. Go ahead. So the last part I got is, what about Mark Hockey? What does that do to him now?
Yeah, I think Mark Hockey's still staying in kind of his front office kind of role. I think he's not going to be as involved. You've got other guys who have been there. There is one guy, Tyler Miles, who came in prior to the 2022 season. I know that a bunch of the players were vocal about liking him, and maybe even when they decided to make the move away from Mark Hockey, hey, this is a guy that we would like to lead us. So I think he will lead Florida for now. I don't know. I'd be lying to you if I said I knew if he will get the job full time or if they're going to go and look for a full time strength coach. But in the interim, he's going to lead Florida through this identity phase of their offseason program.
I'll just take a minute to tell you this is brought to you by Melton Law. Melton Law, where they'll fight for you. You have a call or you go down to see them anytime you get to see a Melton. Go to their website. They give away things all the time at the University of Florida. Constantly give away tickets, things. Go to their Facebook page and find out how you do that. If you need an attorney, Melton Law is where you want to go. By the way, they believe in second opinions. If you have a case pending, you're not happy with the result, call them up and they'll tell you for free whether they think they can help you or not. So they also, of course, are huge sponsors for the University of Florida, the official accident attorneys for the University of Florida. Melton Law, they won't back down. Sponsor Melton Law Monday. All right, when you add it all up, guys, and I'm looking for a good headline. I'm always looking for a good headline. We all truly would like to see something that we can say, hey, look at this headline. This is great. DJ Lagways, everything we thought, some kind of headline. It's hard when you keep having setbacks like this. And Shane, when you stack them on top of each other, you don't have another losing season. You don't have the recruiting season you hope to have. You get rid of some coaches, you lose players. You have a highly ranked class that you lose a bunch of. And now you have another setback of your coach being your new look, your new people, and suddenly he's gone. There's a certain worrisome about that, Shane. After a while, give me a headline. Give me something to root for, Shane.
Well, I don't think it's that big a deal, quite honestly. Maybe it's because I never really worked out when I was in college or in the pros. I didn't care about the strength coach at all. But this guy's not leaving because he didn't like the University of Florida.
Right.
Look, coaching is all about relationships and who you're comfortable working with. The guy, as Nick pointed out, they were together in Maryland. Bill O'Brien gets a head job. He brings his guy to Penn State. He brings his guy to the National Football League with the Houston Texans. And now he's about being a head coach. Bill O'Brien wasn't a head coach until a few weeks ago. Maybe not even that long.
Days ago, yeah.
If Bill O'Brien is not the head coach of Boston College, this guy is still our strength coach. So I don't think it's that big a deal personally. Now, of course,
the headline. I think people run with it and they say, "Oh, he spent 5 weeks here and he sees that it's a disaster and he wants out." And that's just not, that's just a negative narrative that people are spinning. It's all about relationships, like you said.
Yeah, and people on my show today were going ballistic because they only look at it from as a Gator fan point of view. Why would you go to Boston?
That's what they are, Shane. They're Gator fans. They're Gator fans. Of course they do.
I know, but I try to tell them, if you're in whatever job you're in and your buddy gets hired somewhere else, you're hauling ass and going to work with him if he offers you a job. So this has nothing to do with the University of Florida and choosing Boston College and living in the snow over the sunny University of Florida. It's going to work for a guy you're comfortable with that you know how everybody operates.
But let me just say this, Nick, and then you can jump in there. When you stack that next to, well, this guy wanted to go somewhere else to school, so he decommitted. And you stack it next to, well, the recruiting class wasn't as good. It's another disappointment. Maybe maybe we're making more out of it. If you see the comments about fans, what they're saying, they're not happy. They need something to be happy about. And I get it. They get asked to believe in a program, to give money, to support it. And it's really hard for them to keep on keeping on, Nick, when they don't see evidence of progress.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I mean, shoot, those New Year's Six Bowls with Dan Mullen seemed like they were a long time ago. Like we're aging in dog years. There just haven't been a bunch of good headlines, and I look and I think I was talking to Scott Strickland last week, and I said, honestly, if Florida doesn't lose to Vanderbilt in year one, and if you don't lose to Arkansas in year two, we have a whole different narrative. Like those two losses, I think, just left bitter taste in your mouth in each season. And if you just win those two very winnable games, I think we're talking about Billy Napier and the entire program in a different light. I also don't think we're giving enough credit to the recruiting class. And sure, I think you needed to get more offensive linemen in the transfer portal than you did in the high school recruiting ranks. But DJ Lagway is a championship quarterback. This is a guy you can win an SEC championship and compete for national championships with. LJ McCray looks like a junior, senior in college as an 18-year-old early enrollee, true five-star, and you're beating out Georgia, Alabama, Florida State, Auburn. You're beating out the teams you need to beat out for. So despite what we saw on the field, clearly the recruiting message is getting through to some guys, and you need to win those kind of recruiting battles. Now, I think I used to be a big proponent of you need 4 years. You got to get your guys in. And I think the transfer portal, at least in a lot of people's perception and view from what I can see online, is changed because of the transfer portal. And they don't want to wait 4 years because you can reload your roster. But I think that maybe because DJ was committed for so long and we kind of forget that's a huge it should be a huge offseason headline and a huge win for the program.
I think, Shane, it brings into question the judgment of the head coach who hired these coaches that he now says he didn't want, apparently, and they're gone. And he hired a strength coach that wasn't the right one. And they had to go out and get another the second year.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like I said, I don't like coaches make this bad decisions in their staff a lot of times. This isn't just happening at Florida, but we covered the Gators, so we make it this big ordeal. I'll be quite honest with you. When I saw the headline on Twitter yesterday, I thought we lost the damn special teams analyst. That's who I thought it was. That tells you how much I even paid attention to who our new strength guy was. And quite honestly, I'm sure our new special teams analyst coached with Bill O'Brien with the Patriots at some point. That's why I thought it was him that left to go to BC. So I'm gonna have to tell buddy. I'm gonna have to be Dr. Phil like I have to be with all my people on my show. The Gators whipped Auburn's ass in basketball, and enjoy it. Okay,
and by the way, I guess Nick Joseph Cusino's got me pegged pretty good. He says, looking for a good headline? Tell the truth, please. Shane is 1,000% right. Buddy wants to believe he can pound the drum of negativity to get Napier fired because Napier doesn't give him a story. Okay. Nick, you heard this kind of talk, don't you, sometimes?
Yeah. Negative Nick. That's me.
Yeah.
That's what it depends on. It depends on your view of Napier. I'm either negative or I'm not asking hard enough questions. It's both.
Yeah,
both
exactly. One of the two, for sure. Yeah.
You could be Alabama. They lost their offensive coordinator and their O-line coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we're all looking. I was on the show the night last week. I believe it was on with Allie Wilbur and David Bolton, and it was Chris Torre. And we're all talking about being media people, priding ourselves in a sense of objectivity, but deep down inside, we much rather cover a program than one. And we don't want a team to look bad. It's not the same thing as being a homer where you say nobody can ever say anything bad about my team. But, it is a fact that it gets uncomfortable for everybody. Now, look, nobody is more positive than the guy I'm going to bring aboard next. After I say good night to Shane, he's going to go get his milk and cookies and watch a game and watch a replay, whatever. He's an old man. He has to get up tomorrow and do a show with Buddy Martin, which is a burden in itself. Before we get Franz, let's bring Shane back on for a final thought on the Super Bowl and what's on your show tomorrow.
Well, I know a lot of people didn't like the Super Bowl. I enjoyed it. I thought the defensive coordinators were outstanding the first 2.5, 3 quarters. And then the greatest quarterback we're ever going to witness took over the football game. And they're going to win a lot. They're going to keep winning. And if I firmly believe this, the Chiefs, they need to add a couple of wide receivers to their roster. I think they have very below average NFL wide receivers. And look out if they do get some legit guys on the outside.
Is there any truth to the rumor that you have been offered the offensive coordinator's job, Shane?
For the Chiefs? For who?
Okay, I'll leave it at that. Yeah,
I was offered an offensive coordinator job, but it was not for the Chiefs or the Gators or the Alabama Crimson Tide or anybody like that.
Was it college football or was it pro ball?
It was college football.
Wow.
Was it Boston College?
It was not Boston College because I don't know that coach. It's a coach I knew very well.
Oh, yeah.
So
We'll just leave it at that.
But I declined because I do not want to recruit and deal with NIL. Yeah. Although at his level, there's not a whole lot of NIL. But
Mr.
All right,
Matthews.
Shane. See you tomorrow morning on Pot Up with Matthews. A great show. If you have not heard it, I can't imagine that you haven't, because most of our people are listening to Shane in the morning.
That's right. Y'all have a good night.
Take care, Shane.
Good seeing you, Shane.
Hey, Brendan, this guy, Joseph, whatever his name is really mad at me. Apparently, he wants to say I'm blaming Billy for everything.
Well, he's wearing a tie in his profile picture. I mean, let's just start with that, okay? That's all I'm going to say. JoJo. Thank you, Joe. You should get your own show. Get your own show, Joe. I'll come on your chat room and we'll blow you up. You're the best. Great guy.
All right, here he is. The great Franz Beard. Talk about me being a Franz. Usually I get accused of being a, what do we call ourselves? They call us? Well, we're
Sunshine Pumper.
Sunshine Pumper, yeah. Now this guy's killing me, so I'm negative. I'm glad taking some heat off Nick. Nick,
thanks for taking the torch, buddy.
It's funny. You're right. Scott Fitzgerald, he was a writer. I try to be a writer. Scott Fitzgerald actually was one. Craig Fitzgerald went with his old buddy, his lifelong buddy. The biggest problem with this leaving, I mean, the timing sucks, obviously, but the perception is he's got a perception battle right now. And I think that's as big a deal for Billy Napier right now as anything in the world. He's got a perception that the program is in a tailspin, which, after 2 losing seasons, I understand why people are thinking that. I think that he's got a perception problem that his staff was bailing on him. I don't know that they necessarily bailed on him as much as he bailed on them. Like Matt Hayes wrote today, kids don't really give a rat's ass so much about who the coordinators are. It's a matter of who's the head coach, what's the NIL, what are you paying me to be here? And that's kind of the way it's become. Billy's got a perception issue as much as anything else. Now, if he loses this year, he's got more than a perception issue going. But right now, people are going to spin it that, oh my gosh, something was really wrong with Florida for the strength coach to leave after 5 weeks. The strength coach left because his lifetime buddy is the new coach at Boston College. And, he'd rather coach with his buddy. I don't blame him for that. I mean, goodness.
But Franz, here's the thing. It's not just that, and I get it. I'll be negative Ned here for a second. It's not just that. It's the combination of disappointment occurrence. What do you want to call it, circumstance or whatever? Billy has had a lot of things that have gone the wrong way.
Yeah,
and after a while,
that's the perception that
karma. That's what it is. No, it's not the perception. It's right. It's what happened. It's fact. I mean, tell me I'm wrong, Nick. The fact is, a lot of things go wrong in 2 years. Doesn't mean he's a bad person. No. Is he a terrible coach? No. But things have not gone his way. There's no denying that. And when people get discouraged, I get it. All right, I get it. And if he turns it around, he'll get the glory. But I don't think we can sit back and say, well, he's our coach. We love him no matter what. There's the piper has got to be paid at some point. That's all I'm saying, Nick.
Yeah, I think I can say this without a doubt. Since I've been here, Florida has never provided the football program more resources. When Billy started assembling the Army, I had a coach from the Big Ten text me, what the hell did Billy tell Scott? Why does he have so many analysts? I would love to have that many people help me with recruiting. And I think the way the college calendar is so screwed up for coaches that you probably need that. And I know the NCAA was trying to figure out, or was supposed to pass a rule to allow analysts to coach on the field. And I think Florida is ready for that to happen. And you'll probably see other schools play catch up. And until then, those rules haven't changed. I think Billy has all the resources. Like Shane said, I think you're going to make some mistakes. Like, I don't know if Will Muschamp was forced to hire Charlie Strong or if he chose Charlie Strong, but that was a mistake. Maybe if you go to Kurt Roper earlier, after not, you go to your spread offense or a new age offense and not a pro style offense earlier, maybe Will Muschamp is still coaching Will Muschamp is still coaching here at Florida and has a national championship. There's tons of little mistakes that coaches make or decisions they make. To use another former head coach's line, you have freedom of choice, but not freedom of consequence. And I think Billy, some of the decisions they've made haven't panned out, and you're going to end up seeing consequences to that. We'll see what the offense looks like. He's clearly decided that defense was the issue. And was the defense good last year? No. Was it good the year before? No. But they did not make any changes on offense. And Billy went and talked to Sean Kelly after he spoke to us on Wednesday and said he wants to continue calling plays. Is that the right decision? We'll see. So there's thousands of decisions that head coaches make that might mean nothing one day, but add up to something a year, 2, 3 years down the line.
Nick, in 6 words or less, do you like Billy Napier?
Yeah, I like Billy. I think he's a really nice guy.
All right. Franz, 6 words or less, do you like Billy Napier?
Yeah, I like him a lot. Now, can he coach the Gators?
No, I didn't say that. Do you like him?
Yeah.
Franz likes him, and Nick, Brendan, do you like Billy Napier?
Don't know. No, I have no reference. I mean, I don't go to.
Do you like him? Do you like what you know about him?
I'm probably in the middle of the road. I think my perspective is a lot different.
Right, so I don't know. Undecided.
It's undecided because it's hard to make.
I have a point I'm going to make here. Buddy, do you like Billy Napier? Yes, I do. Okay, now, for the guy who keeps pounding me and telling me, buddy, you don't like Billy Napier. Bruce Green says, you don't like Billy Napier. I like Billy Napier. Franz likes Billy Napier. Nick likes Billy Napier. Brendan doesn't know. But just because we make a criticism,
I'm not crazy about
doesn't mean it didn't matter if we like him or not, does it, guys?
Yeah, here's the thing, buddy, and I'll go back to that word perception. Billy Napier does nothing to enhance the perception that that fans can embrace him. He how many times, Nick, does he stop and talk with us? And Dan Mullen would hang around for 10, 15 minutes sometimes, chatting with us, knew us all by name. Had a ongoing stuff with you and Cassidy. I mean, there was always something funny to be said by that. Dan gave the perception he was one of us, he was here. Billy gives the perception that I'm here and I'm going to tell you what I got to tell you, and that's it. And then I'm out the hell. Then I'm getting the hell out of here. There's no perception that he's likable. There's no perception that he's warm and fuzzy. That all we can tell by is what we see on the field. Would you agree with that, Nick?
Yeah, and having talked with him about that and things of that nature on and off the record, he always comes back to all we have to do is win games, and when we win games, they won't be saying that, or you guys won't be writing that. And I jokingly said to him, like, hey, but in the meantime, while you're still working on that whole winning thing, what if you did, and throw out an example, something like that. He's not concerned. He's not going to be swayed. You're not going to bully Billy Napier on Twitter to hire an offensive coordinator. You're not going to, I think fans during the year, fans are telling us, you need to hammer him and ask him this, ask him that. He's not going to be bullied into doing what fans want him to do. He's going to do what he thinks is best. And listen, he has a lot more skin in the game, I guess financially. No, maybe not financially. He's going to be very rich either way. Whether it works out or it doesn't work out. Sometimes the best job in the world is fire Division I football coach. But before I meander off too far, he is very deliberate in the way that he works. I think we all see that in how long it takes plays to come in on Saturday. You want to know what every option, every consequence of a decision will be before you make one. And that's how he is. He's not going to be swayed by what Franz Beard writes, what Nick Torre writes or says on a podcast. He's going to do what he thinks is best.
Nobody expects him to be swayed by what we write, but here's the thing that he needs to be swayed is he's got an entire Gator Nation out there that wonders who the hell he is. And all they can see is football games that are lost and a coach that comes in there and does his press conference and doesn't give great answers. That's what the perception is.
Yeah, there is something to it. I remember when Mike White first came in, he brought us in for, that off the record meeting, and he showed us film and the recruiting board. And it was like, hey, I want to teach you as much as I can about our program because it's going to help you guys cover our program. These are the kind of guys we want in recruiting. This is what we want to do when things are running well offensively. This is what we want to do. And Mike was so personable. I think it's harder to be critical of people that you have a relationship with. It's harder to be critical of people that you really like. And if you don't have a relationship with the media, when it's time to say, like, hey, man, you're just not getting it done, it's not going to be hard to write that. And I don't know that Billy Napier has that kind of relationship with anyone in the local media. Not that he needs to, and not that we're looking to pile on. But when you lose to an Arkansas team that hadn't won an SEC game at home, when you're debuting Buddy's favorite black jerseys, his favorite Florida jersey ever, it's easy to pile on and make jokes. And I'm probably too sarcastic for my good, which I'm sure Dan Mullen and his staff enjoyed towards the end of their tenure at Florida.
No, I guess I see it both. I see it both ways with it. When a coach brings you in and says, "Oh, hey, look at this," and the team. There's you got to feel like there's some, a little bit of not manipulation, but it's like I can see where, having someone like Billy who's like, just more of like, I'm over time, I'm going to get to know you. Over time we'll have that respect. Over time, we'll get there rather than just trying to show you some shiny, lures and maybe throw you off their scent a little bit like that. But my whole issue with Billy Napier is the fact that it's not so much that he has a, if I think I'm a head coach, do I have a media blackout? I don't have a blackout, but I don't want, in today's world, you want to protect what's yours as much as possible because you've got, too many people and spies and all that stuff out there. I totally understand that part of it. I guess this, I feel like for all the coaches in the world, this guy gets a break. It's like, I'm amazed by how many breaks that he continuously sort of get, how many passes that he gets, and maybe everyone's sort of lulled to sleep because clearly he's a very likable human being. And I think that's what's bode well for him in recruiting. It's, I think a lot of people want to believe in him, but my biggest issue right now is that he's going to be the offensive coordinator. He's going to call plays because that's where I just don't think that's a very smart move. And I know that story is sort of, and Lauren Meadows has said, from the get-go, he's never planned on doing anything different than he was going to be the one to call the plays. And I really feel like that is a big mistake going into this particular season because we interviewed Urban Meyer not too long ago, and he's like, "Look, I don't win any national championship without Dan Mullen in my ear." Mm-hmm. And I think that is a very cocky statement.
I think Billy. I think Billy is a honest, God-fearing, very genuine man. I don't think he discredits us. I think he respects the job that we do, and he understands that our jobs aren't always going to run parallel. They're going to cross, and we're going to write stuff that he doesn't want out or that doesn't necessarily help the program. As journalists, we're not cheerleaders for the program. We're not propping the program up. We're telling you what's happening inside and out of the program. And so I do think there is respect there, but I keep going back to Billy, and he didn't get a chance to call the plays or got a chance to call plays at Clemson. It was taken away. Didn't get the chance at Alabama. Got the chance at Louisiana. Got the chance here. He had never, as a head coach, had never fired an assistant coach in 6 years. If you take him at his word, which I'm learning that we should, and sometimes you have to read between the lines, but you take him at his word generally. They do self-evaluations and they look at their team and they take a deep, hard look. Billy Napier, days after the season ended, fired 2 defensive coaches, one of which they paid a hefty buyout to Duke to even get on their staff, and no changes on the offense. That tells me after that self-evaluation, the defense was the problem. You hired another guy on special teams. We were told, hey, he's going to help with the procedural stuff. Why? Because you had 2 guys on the same with the same jersey number on the field. You had numerous times of only 10 guys on the field for field goal blocks. If Billy Napier, on another note, if he does not feel like his job is on the line in 2024, why would you change the offense? Furthermore, if he feels like his job is on the line, why would I give my job and put it in somebody else's hands to call plays and put my fate into somebody else's hands? If I'm going to go down and get fired, it's going to be the way I'm doing it. So there were tons of rumors, and I know our message board was tracking planes hourly, hoping that an offensive coordinator from the outside would be hired. I never thought he would do it because I don't think he thinks his job is on the line. And why would you change? And even if he did think his job is on the line, I'm gonna give that my fate, my job security. I'm gonna put it in somebody else's hands.
I agree with
that. I'm sorry, Franz. I'll let you go after you get done. I want to get a message in of a tight MRI. And before we go off the air, I'd like for each of us to give a summation of 30 words about what you would like most of all to see Billy do. Go ahead, Franz, and I'll take it from there.
Well, what I'd really like to see Billy do is I would like to see him more. I think that he needs the Gator Nation to embrace him.
Well, hold
and that doesn't.
Hold your what you want to see him do to the final thought. What was your comment you were making?
Oh, my comment was I think Nick is absolutely right that he's backed himself into a corner. I mean here, and there really is no way out except to just go ahead and do what he's done. If he was going to make that move, he had to make it earlier. It's way too late in the game to do that right now, I think, because again, it goes back to that word perception. The perception is that his job his butt is on the line right now, and whether we necessarily think so or Scott Strickland thinks so, that's the national perception right there. We got Matt Hayes, who basically writes that once a week, at Saturday Down South, for example. So why change if that's the national perception? That's what it is, and he's backed himself into a corner there.
All right, I'm going to tell you about TitanMRI.com, one of our fine sponsors. If you got that logo again there, Brendan, put it up. Tell you about North Central Florida's newest premier independent diagnostic testing facility. No problems if you don't have insurance. You can use your card or cash by coming here. Well, I want to let you know that Titan MRI is now open and serving the Greater Gainesville and North Central Florida. They're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer service experience. They know many people lead a busy life, and although they have regular business hours, they're available by appointment evenings and weekends in order to meet your scheduling needs. How's that? MRI equipment is modern, like MRI unit has one of the largest bore holes opening of any newer high-strength MRI unit, 71 centimeters. It allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients who generally cannot tolerate the smaller closed units. The noise level is 75% quieter. Just one of the many ways Titan MRI makes it easier for you. TitanMRI.com. The one thing I want to see is I want to see somebody become a spokesperson for this program. Billy dodges it. He won't address it. He filibusters the questions. You can't get a direct answer. We don't know what's going on half the time because it seems like Billy doesn't know what's going on half the time. If there was just some way to have a clear narrative, don't tell us the game plans. Just tell us what the plans are and how things are going. And that's what I'd like to see. That'd be my suggestion. Nick, what's yours?
I don't know that he's listen. Like Lane Kiffin's fantastic behind a microphone. Dan Mullen could be fantastic behind a microphone. I don't know that Billy Napier ever is going to be fantastic behind a microphone. So the only thing he can do is to win football games, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. I remember telling fans right when Billy was hired before they played a game, hey, I don't think you're going to like this offense. It's going to be a lot of running. There's going to be some play action passing, but it's not going to be throwing the ball all over the field. It's not sexy. But it doesn't matter. If you're unsexily winning a national championship like Michigan just did, no one cares that you beat, Iowa 17-12 at some point in November. So I think Billy just needs to figure out a way to win games. I think this is the best collection of talent he's had in year 3, with a schedule that it might not matter. You could have the best roster you've had in 3 years and go 6-6 with this schedule, specifically the last 6 games of this schedule. I think you need to stack some wins early because after November, it does not become easy.
Brendan, what does he need to do? What would you one thing you want to see him do?
Well, I've been very outspoken as I wanted to see him get an offensive coordinator. But that's something I really wanted to see. I'm glad he went to work on defense. Obviously, that was a problem. But I really wanted to see an offensive coordinator, especially with DJ Lagway coming in. I wanted to see something different. I had a problem with some play calling all year, and I was very vocal about some choices that were made. And I, buddy, you and I talked to Urban about it, again several times about having somebody in the booth and a different voice in your ear when you're on the playing field. Sometimes you need that voice of God in your ear to make a better decision, or at least offer up a different perspective, especially in the heat of battle. Look, we heard the rumblings that he promised the Lagways that he was going to bring in an offensive coordinator this year. Especially with the transfer portal, I would just hate to see, him lose young talent and stuff. Having a horrible year. I don't know. It just feels. I hear what you guys are saying about, hey, if you're going to go down with the ship, you want to go down your way, that kind of thing. But it kind of just feels like Chip Kelly, like, hey, if it's not going to work, maybe I can go be offensive coordinator somewhere else. I just, I think the schedule is stacked. I think you got to be realistic about it. And I don't know. It really, I think as Gator fan, because I'm obviously a Gator fan, but, I was disappointed that was going to happen. Obviously, you can't make that change now. It's too late. So it's going to be another season for me to have to think about covering these games and seeing a lot of things from Utah all the way down the line, where I felt like there was just some really bad leadership on the offense as far as play calling is concerned. I think that, I don't know what else you can do for me to make it feel better, because that was my big thing. So I don't really have an answer for that.
Okay.
Yeah, he could, but he could give offensive play calling duties to Russ Callaway. I don't think he gains anything by telling us that last week.
Right.
I think Billy Napier, the way he operates, hey, I'll let Russ Callaway call plays during the team period in spring. Hey, when we go to do our first closed, super secret scrimmage, Russ is going to call the offensive plays ones versus ones and see how it plays out. And if we like it, we can make a change. But if Billy stands up there and says that on National Signing Day, and then they go through spring and it just doesn't look right, now you have to fire Russ and you have to find a new coach because you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So he could promote Russ, but I don't think he gains anything by telling the media publicly on Wednesday or last Wednesday, hey, this is what we're going to do, because he doesn't know if it will work yet.
Yeah, good point. Great stuff. Franz, wrap it up for us. What's your wish for the program that they do?
Let me throw something at you, and buddy, you'll probably remember it. I know that you two guys won't. You're not really old enough to. 1980, Charlie Pell loses to Florida State. He goes to the FSU locker room and congratulates Bobby Bowden, comes back to the Florida locker room, and he makes a big point of it afterward, telling the media what he did. He said, I just told my team that we will never, as long as I'm the head football coach at the University of Florida, lose a football game to Bobby Bowden and Florida State University again. And he never did. It's that emotion that, pardon my expression, the give a shit. People perceive give a shit and they love it. When they don't perceive that. Billy is so stoic right now that you don't know, okay, are you mad with the guys? Are you happy with the guys? What are you? Okay. It's okay to be pissed off. At least people believe that you really have the fire and the intensity. And I don't see that. And I'm sorry, I hear these people over here saying, well, he's got to win games. Yeah, he does. But he by golly, he's got to win a perception battle too and get the Gator Nation behind him, because guess what? As Will Muschamp found out after losing to Georgia Southern, Southern, he could have streaked naked down University Avenue and you know, and it wouldn't have mattered. People had it set in their mind he had to go because he had lost the perception battle. And Billy's teetering on the verge of that.
All right, gentlemen, great job, Franz. Nick, great to see you. Come back often. Keep up the good work on 3 and all the things you do. Appreciate you both, guys.
Hey, Nick, there's a rumor that you're going to actually show up at a basketball game this year. Is it true?
No.
Fake news. Fake news. We've got baseball starts Friday,
baby.
Baseball, extreme baseball now. No, fake news.
He thinks the baseball field is a conference center, or vice versa.
You'll get back and you'll enjoy it, Franz.
I just heard you were going to show up in the building, not to cover it, not to write about it.
No.
I had heard you were going to actually grace the O-Dome with your presence.
I don't even know if I know where the practice facility is, but I'll be at baseball Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday until June.
Hey, there's big baseball news. Wasn't there a big re-signed today? A coach or something?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Oh, Nicholas. Yeah,
Kevin O'Sullivan. Kevin O'Sullivan signed a contract extension through 2033.
Wow.
So I might be the last person to break a Kevin O'Sullivan contract extension story. I missed out on the last one, but yeah, it's a national championship coach
that's okay.
Yeah, who has turned Florida into perennial power. He had kind of fallen. And listen, he was making more than $1 million to coach college baseball. That's good money, but he had kind of fallen into the bottom quarter. So I think it's just getting him back salary-wise to where he should be, and also Florida and Kevin O'Sullivan saying, let's stop all these Sully back to Clemson rumors or to Texas or to wherever. I think this will be a contract that runs through the rest of Kevin O'Sullivan's coaching career.
Did you contribute to? Did you take a pay cut so that he could have the money? I mean, I realize you get paid twice that much, but you know.
I'm going to send him a wedding invite and say, listen, the wedding already happened, but I know how much you make, and I think the wedding registry is very fairly priced.
Yeah, it's still there. It's still there. You know, the honey fund.
Yeah, the wedding registry is still up. Listen, we'll be having kids at some point. If you want to pay for the nursery.
Yeah,
Venmo, Cash App, Apple Pay. We're very available.
Under the table, non-denominational, you know.
I think we need to blindfold you and just walk you to the center of the O-Dome and then pull the blindfold off and see what your reaction is.
No, not going to happen.
No idea.
I'm with you, Nick. I'm just going
to go to bed, guys. I got to do a show in a couple hours. So thank you.
You're good. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Franz. Appreciate you.
See you guys. All right. Good night.
All right. Very good. What? Thanks, Franz. All right, buddy.
Your show tomorrow, too. Don't forget, Sidelines.
I was just going to say, hey, check it out tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Rob Brown, really good show covering all the SEC, all the teams every week, talking a lot of basketball. Talking a lot of recruiting, all that stuff. Great guests from all around the Southeastern Conference. Check it out. It's right here on this channel, 9 a.m. It's called SEC Sidelines Sports. Rob Brown is a rising star, and I really enjoy doing that show with him. It's great
good
stuff.
Show. You guys do a good job. Let me tell you about RenStar. RenStar Medical Research, our fine sponsor. None of my copy is here. Didn't make the trip like other things. I don't need the copy to tell you about what RenStar is doing, has done in our community. They're, of course, taking care of our community and our health. They have a series of these clinics, clinical trials to find out better treatments for our health. And they welcome volunteers to take part in it, whether it's something on Alzheimer's or any other disease we have in our area that's common. You can sign up for it, go to renstar.net. And maybe take part in the clinic reach, and sometimes they'll give everybody else a pill and not you. Anyway, you should know about it.
Well, buddy, let me help you out here, because the proven reputation is a high-quality, patient-centered clinical research facility. Red Star Medical Research brings cutting-edge technology and research to trials to Ocala in such areas like Alzheimer's disease, psoriasis, osteoarthritis. I had to slow that down. Migraine, fibromyalgia, along with many other conditions that affect our community since its inception since 1998. Renstar has participated in more than 700 clinical research trials and continues to partner with our prominent pharmaceutical and biomedical communities throughout the medical industry, buddy. Because at Red Star Medical Research, they are seeking tomorrow's answers
to the health questions
of today.
Great job, Brendan. Thank you. Great job. Love you. Talk to you tomorrow.
All right. That's Buddy Martin. And that's going to do it for us tonight. Again, want to remind everyone who's watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, we actually do this once in a while. We go live to Facebook. But you got to go over and check us out on YouTube and click subscribe, because that's where most of our content does live. We really appreciate everybody joining the program tonight. I want to say thanks to our special guest, Shane Matthews. Always a pleasure having that guy on. Torre. Really brings it. It's always great to have him on. And of course, the Iron Duke Franz Beard. Also want to tell everyone about GatorBaitMedia.com. Check it out right now. You can read Buddy, you can read Franz, you can read Lauren, all sorts of great articles and information that's going on that's pertinent to your Gator world. Thanks for joining the program. I think that's it. Thanks to our sponsors. And as always, I do like to say, no matter what the chat room said tonight, which I know everyone says I hate the Gators and all this kind of stuff, it's not true. Because at the end of my broadcast, I always like to say, go Gators, have a good night. We'll see you guys tomorrow.